Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica and our continuing series on the Wii U, and today we're taking a look at one of my favorite games of all time to start on the platform, and that is Bayonetta 2. Before we get too far involved, if you could do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, ring that notification bell. We really appreciate your guys' support, and if you feel so inclined, we have a Patreon link down there as well if you want to support the channel. But not only is Bayonetta 2 an absolutely amazing game, one of the best of all time in my opinion, it's really interesting that we ended up getting this on a Nintendo console in the first place, because Nintendo still wasn't hugely thought of as a company that was going to have M-rated games on their platforms, and that has changed a lot as time has gone on, but the fact that Nintendo decided to buy the exclusive rights to Bayonetta 2 and have it be locked to the Wii U and then of course the Switch when it got ported was really interesting. But as far as the game itself is concerned, this has absolutely everything you would want in a game if you like a beat 'em up genre. It has insane graphical stylings, the art direction, the visuals, the sound, everything that you're going to see and hear when you're playing this game is spectacular. Even if it does on occasion drop a few frames on the Wii U versus the Switch, it is an absolutely stellar game to look at and to listen to. And Platinum Games always makes really visually interesting games, but I think Bayonetta 2 and the Bayonetta series in general is the top of their work. It is just an absolutely spectacular game to look at. Now on the actual gameplay front, again, this is top tier beat 'em up action, and I am not the best at this genre. I can hold my own, I can dodge and parry and throw some combos here and there, but the players that are the best in the world at this game, some of the things they're able to do with the control system and the combos are just absolutely mind-blowing. But when you're playing this game well, when you're blocking attacks, when you're dodging, when you're putting in combos correctly, you feel invincible, like absolutely no enemy is ever able to touch you. And I think that's what's so great about the Bayonetta series, and 2 in general, is that when you're playing the game well, it is a flawless experience. It looks amazing, it sounds amazing, it plays amazing, you are having a great time. Another thing I really love about it is just how much it plays with color. We're in this more angelic setting right here, and we have all these really white looking lights with this vibrant, lush gold in the background. But when you go into Witch Time, the bullet time effect, you're able to attack your enemy and you get this great purple hue on the screen. The color profile that this game uses, its palette, is second to none, and I think it's absolutely one of the best looking games on the Wii U. And like I mentioned earlier, sometimes it's going to drop frames, and the Switch version does a lot better job of making sure that doesn't happen, so if you're going to play it on one platform, maybe the Switch would be the better option. But you even get a lot of great story. I love the voice acting in this game. It's a lot of fun. You get this kind of bootleg, a second tier Joe Pesci character who's giving you all these different Staten Island, New York isms as you're watching the story unfold. It isn't the most animated thing in the world. It's definitely a lower effort cutscene, but it still looks and sounds fun, and I appreciate the sense of humor that this game brings. But when you're in the gigantic open areas, we had never seen high-definition graphics on a Nintendo console before the Wii U, and this game looks better than most things that I saw on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. All these real-time reflections in the water, the real-time reflections off the marble in the floor, everything just looks incredible. And that's the best part about Bayonetta 2. It looks amazing, it sounds amazing, it plays amazing, it's very creative with its visuals, and all the different things that you see and can do in the game. It just is the total package, and I cannot wait for Bayonetta 3 on the Switch as well. I'm so glad they're continuing this series, because even if I'm not the best at these games, I love that Platinum Games still makes them, and I love that there's still an audience for them. It's not just for the hardcore player, because on hard, this game is damn near impossible for me, but on medium, it puts up a good challenge without becoming so frustrating, and the save and checkpoint system is fair. If you lose halfway through a boss battle, you're able to continue from where you left off versus having to start completely from the beginning. What I want to let you do is just listen to a little bit of the game. It is really fun to watch and look at. I'll be back in about a minute to finish up Bayonetta 2, but enjoy.
These punches don't know when to quit. What'd I ever do to them? shite. I'm never gonna reach Fimbulvent at this rate.
Definitely have to really enjoy the cutscenes in this game as well. They're highly stylized and do a great job of telling the story while also looking awesome at the same time. And I would say that the character of Bayonetta in general is a really awesome creation from the team at Platinum, because she has this great accent that sounds like a cross between British English and a mid-Atlantic accent from movies from the 50s and 60s. And as far as her character is concerned, her personality, her look, the way she talks is highly stylized in a really interesting way. They definitely use sexuality as part of her character traits, but it's done in a method that doesn't feel gawking. She knows who she is, and she uses her entire personality in a way that really incorporates itself in the gameplay. Even with these torture attacks, she is basically spanking that enemy with her whip, but it works in her character design. It never feels like sexuality for sexuality's sake. It actually seems like an intelligent and smart use of an aspect like that. But I do like when the game slows down as well, because in some instances it can feel like a little bit of a boss rush, like you're going from one fighting arena to another. But the game definitely amplifies the combat up the further you go into it, because you're going to have one of three types of stages. You're just going to be fighting low-level enemies in an arena, then you're going to have some more mid-range boss battles like you're seeing here, and then the game's going to have levels that are dedicated to gigantic bosses. But I love the design of this character and the designs of all the enemies in the game. They are wildly unique and varied, but each one has its own personality and its own design. That's something you've never seen before in games. I love that his face is on this pole that he's holding. It's just a lot of fun, and that's what I think this game does so much better than a lot of the other beat-em-ups on the market either around that time or now, is that it has an obscene amount of personality, and it's going to use that personality all throughout the gameplay. And I love the little quick time events as well. They're interspersed enough where you're going to be able to enjoy them, but the game doesn't evolve into a quick time battle. You get like 90% real-time combat where you need to be really paying attention to the buttons you're hitting, and then you get 10% of those quick time events, which are mostly just done to be hyper stylized. And you'll see here, her hair comes out, wraps around her, and then this guy basically gets spine banged by a sword, and I guess that's the easiest way you could say that. But the style, the sound, it's just oozing so much charm that I can't enjoy this game enough. And that's why like I said, am super excited for Bayonetta 3, especially on the Switch, because hopefully it'll be a locked 60 frames a second the entire time. But as I mentioned earlier, with kind of the ramping difficulty and intensity of boss battles, we're now in an arena where we're fighting this gigantic eyeball that's coming out of this almost robotic-looking stingray. And the character designs, they're just crazy. This kind of feels like a mix between Kid Icarus and Medusa with an ocean setting. And the fight is very difficult. You're not going to be able to beat everything on the first try, but you learn from your failures and you continue and you go back, and when you actually beat a boss in this game, you feel like you've made a massive accomplishment. And that's what I really love about Bayonetta 2, and I love about games in general, is when the difficulty and the pacing are just challenging enough to make you feel like you're learning, but not so punishing to make it feel like you're not having a fun time. That is the sweet spot in gaming for me, and I think Bayonetta does a great job of really straddling that line between extreme difficulty and challenge. And I do love this here too. We just ripped the eye clean off the stock of this robotic skeleton looking stingray. And how often do you get to say that in a video? Robotic skeleton looking stingray. The game just does everything at an 11. It dials everything up to the point where the spectacle is huge and you want to see what comes next. You want to see what area you're going to be in next. You want to see what crazy enemy you're going to be fighting next. Even at the beginning of this game, the introductory sequence just sets the game up perfectly. It's going to be an action-packed adventure. It is never going to give you a moment's rest, and you're going to be seeing incredible visuals the entire way through. So if for some reason you've never played Bayonetta 2, go out after this video is over, buy it on Amazon, get it for the Switch, get it for the Wii U, find a platform it's available on, Nintendo exclusive of course, and check it out because you will not be disappointed. But short of that, that's Bayonetta 2. 10 out of 10 game for me. But if you could do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. We will be back next Tuesday with another episode in the Wii U series, and we'll have videos on Friday and Sunday as well. But we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
The inheritors of the eyes of Aesir.